everyone, today we're doing the Phasmo Weekly. If you're not in my Discord server, you might not know, but I unfortunately am not streaming today because I do have a fever, so I wouldn't be able, to be up to standards. So instead, I always do the Phasmo Weekly, and I always post it on YouTube on Mondays, so I will still be doing it, and so that's why. And it is Tortoise and the Hare. We are the Hare, the bunny. I know what Hare is, I just don't know how to pronounce it. So we have a player speed of 125. Everything else is pretty normal. We start at 100. We have 3 evidences. We see them here. 3 seconds of grace period. The ghost speed is 50%, which if you want to try to do this only or still mostly based off behavior and hunt, it can be difficult because I would say 50 and 150 are easier than the ones in between 75 and 125 because you get them more often in this kind of weeklies, but still it is a little difficult, so keep in mind that it is 50 speed and it's important for you to know that. Then we have roaming on high, changing room on low, activity on low, events on medium, hunt duration on high as well. Fingerprints chance 100 and they last 2 minutes. That's something that I check sometimes, but yeah. I genuinely have never seen a weekly. I can't remember a weekly where the fingerprints chance was less than 100. So it really doesn't matter how long it lasts. You still shouldn't try to check it 5 minutes later. 0 setup time, random weather. Alright, medium, we do have everything, and we do have a cursed possession, and it's a normal randomized one. So I'm gonna start with the classic. So I'm gonna go with camera, a thermometer, and UV. I'll grab this already just because otherwise I'm afraid I'll forget. And we can see the fuse box and it's outside, so we're gonna start by doing that. Also, I do mute myself just so I can talk to you, and also because I'm not sure if you can hear, but I'm not home alone today, so there is a lot of background noise going on. These lights do automatically turn on if you don't play Bleasdale a lot, so those aren't really an indicator of anything. That doesn't mean that the ghosts turn them on, they just turn on with proximity. So we have music box. And now pretty much what I do when I play by myself, especially if I have a bad thermometer, it's just that I go around looking for orbs first, because I guess I'm always a little bit hoping to get orbs. They do make it easier to find the ghost, to know if it moved, etc. Even though on Nightmare, okay. Oh wait, you turned it off? Oh, that's interesting, okay. So yeah, Ghosty could be in this area. But yeah, on Nightmare it's a little annoying to get ghost orbs. I'm not gonna lie, because you always have to check for the mimic, and some ghosts are just annoying to test, but for the rest of it, it's nice. On 3 evidences I do prefer it. Hi! I'm just gonna grab it, I'm not gonna take photos. However, this is something that people do ask me sometimes when I'm streaming. By all means, yes, you can take photos, you can take videos, you can do a perfect game per se. It's just that you have a one-time multiplier, so if you play on amateur and you try to do the weeklies, it's basically the same. I think I heard it triggering a light outside. Yeah. Okay, so you're here. Speaking of orbs. Okay, we're just gonna leave this here. I do believe there's a light. I guess not. It's okay. We're gonna come back with tripod and start to put down our first pieces of evidence. The first items to gather evidence. But yeah, what I was saying is that normally I go around with the video camera, and I pretty much, especially if I have a low tier thermometer, I just go around and try to, one, check for orbs, two, listen for activity and stuff. So because the roaming is on high, if you get the ghost interacting with you, you can expect either the ghost to be a stalking ghost, that is an option. This is not gonna cover much, by the way. So you, because otherwise, yeah. Yep. I was saying I'm gonna lose it because it looks like everything else. We needed just a itty bitty lower. See, that's the ghost triggering it. So when it touched the door next to us, generically speaking, it can be, first off, the room isn't that far, so it could be just normal roaming. Second, it could be because it's on high roaming, so it will go very far from its room. Third, it's a stalking ghost. We don't know which one it is. Obviously, we'll take our time to figure that one out, but that's my main I try to repeat this every time, every video, because I know it's difficult when you start playing the game. So this is gonna be annoying, but I'm sure we can make it work out. Technically, I'm not sure. Oopsie. I'm not sure if I can get spirit box in this place specifically. Are you here? Are you close? That's the ghost. Are you here? Are you old? We really can't know. Okay, so that's freezing. So we can just go with Hantu, or we can try and check again for a mimic. It is not very easy, so I'm not even gonna lie to you, I am considering just... Okay, wait, I'm thinking about it. So we could just guess and go, but we could also do this. Oh, also, you did turn off the breakers, so you did it immediately, so that does actually check out with... Yep, with... I didn't touch it. With the Hantu. Still, I didn't check my sanity, it shouldn't be too low. So we can probably try and check. What I wanted to try was turn off the lights here to make sure. Are you here? Are you old? Are you young? Also, to answer a doubt, it's an event, but... Hi! Are you here? Are you close? Okay, I do think this is just a Hantu. It's nice when you get events, because if you try to use the spirit box, you know exactly where the ghost is. You can also use motion sensors, of course. But you can try right after an event, because you know it's gonna be there. It's not gonna go anywhere else, so... But yeah, with the spirit box, technically, there's like this little... There's always like a secondary light. The first one, as you can see, is for the microphone. It's not activating. If I use it now, it does activate, simply to tell me that I am using the item correctly. That's all it's really doing. And then, as you can see, sometimes the other light turns on. Now, technically speaking, right now. Technically speaking, on a technical level, it should be that the ghost was in range to hear you. On a practical level, as you just noticed, I'm inside the vent and it still works. So no one really knows if it's because it's actually supposed to be different and we just didn't understand it, or if it's bugged or whatever. But I did try Spirit Box again. It didn't work, so we are going just with Hantu. Makes sense because they turned off the breaker 2 times. That's our first one.
I've got some jobs ready for you. Alright, we're here. Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
Also, if you're curious, technically, yes, you can see orbs on this. I didn't check, but here I probably would have seen them before entering. Also, they're bugged. Can you see that? They're like flashing. I don't know why. So, no. I grabbed 2. So, same thing. Oh. But yeah, I just find it more comfortable to just go around with the video camera. You can 100% go around with the microphone. Okay. Or not with the, well, with the parabolic microphone, or you can do the thermometer. Just personally. Ooh. Nice. I'm just gonna go and turn on the breaker. Being very lucky. Ooh, wrong place. I heard a sound. I don't know if it was me clicking the door or if the ghost followed me. So we're gonna leave it at that for the moment, but where are the orbs exactly though? Is it down? Yeah, it's down here. For a second I thought they were on the stairs up there. But if it was the ghost, that could mean, again, we have high roaming, so you can never tell with high roaming, it's difficult. But it could be a stalking ghost. Thinking of the Banshee for the most of it. That's normally the one that like starts chasing you from the very start. So, for that reason, we're also gonna grab again this. And I grabbed another camera just because, I never know what's gonna happen. So I have another camera, I'm just gonna bring 2 inside. We can kinda get dots, but these dots are kinda bad. We'll bring in some salt and this directly. Let's just check real quick if we still see the orbs. What is that? Did you move? That's rude. It might have lit a candle. Try to put it in a position where it kinda gets both, but... No, yeah, you're still here. So what is that you did over there? Oh no, okay. It's the cigar. The ghost didn't do anything. That's just naturally like that. Are you here? Are you close?
From behind.
Yay! Yo! That's interesting. It didn't stop in salt. So, Spirit Box. Also, it's Carla, which is a lady. If you're unsure, just check the ghost model whenever you get the occasion. So if it was a man, we could have crossed out a Diane, and we have a Spirit Box, so that crosses it out, but it could have also been Banshee, so you can cross out this too if it's a dude. It did close the book. as you can see. So on 3 evidences, that means that it doesn't have ghostwriting. If you're playing on less than 3, you're playing Nightmare, you're playing Insanity, or a custom with 2 or 1 evidence. In those cases, it is gonna be still something that could be being hidden from the ghost, by the ghost. So it could also just be just something that it doesn't want to show you. So none of them has UV. One has dots, freezing. Or to actually, we'll keep the UV. We'll try again the salt. With the Unreal, I'm honestly scared about starting to play with candles, just because the range of this crucifixes isn't amazing. We could potentially have a tie-in, just based off the lack of the other evidences. That's, I don't know, 3. I'm just checking UV again, because as you may have noticed, you can actually hear the ghost. Okay. You can hear the ghost stepping. It just walked in 2 of them, and it didn't leave any UV, so we can cross out this, and we can cross out Mimic. I'm just gonna cross it out so I remember. Bring in the other dolls. It is nice when you get 100 sanity, because it does give you more time, especially with this bad equipment. Is that what she threw, my camera? No. Okay, the orbs are still here. I do get cold breath, but I do think it's... I don't know, it could be just because it's just sitting here. So we need... to count it as a freezing, I always wait for it to go a little lower. And... generically speaking... yes, it's freezing, it's an audio. Generically speaking, as you can see, when you actually get to the point of freezing, where like you would be getting freezing, it does get much lower. This is nice from like tier 1, because unfortunately the other tiers can sometimes just show you for a split second. So tier 2 or tier 3, because you have like the digits showing up, it could be like 1.2, 0.7, 2.5, so you need to be like actually looking. This one, because it's always there, it takes longer, but it does show you very clearly freezing. I just wait until it gets under the 0, personally, and it never failed me, so... And again, we're going directly with Unreal, and we're not going with Spirit, we're not going with Mimic, because we checked UV.
There's some jobs ready for you.
So this is, it's actually nice that we waited, because it would have been annoying. It would have been annoying with the Unreal to do the test. Ooh, I love this this house with this weather. I love it so much.
And it looks like they left in a hurry.
Okay. So again, we go to the breaker over there. I got stuck. That's me. Also just came back to mind, something that I do get asked sometimes. So like when I remember, I just mention it again. Ooh, 3 out of 3, man. And ooh, and you're somewhere else? That could be just for the roaming. But this is your room. Let me check again. Just make sure you didn't decide to move immediately. No. But pretty much, sometimes I get asked like, how can I hear so good the things that the ghost does? I promise, if you have the game at a good enough volume, you'll be able to hear them just as well. What you might have an issue with is because maybe you keep the game too low, which is understandable. I'm not judging, I'm simply saying. And it could also be that you're playing maybe with like low quality headphones or no headphones at all, and in that case, this is I'm not super good with like audio stuff, but in my head it feels like the bass, the bass of like music. It's kind of the same thing, where like you're still gonna be able to hear it, but if you have good headphones, you would just perceive it so much more. Are you here?
Close to bustling neck.
Oh, that was rude. So we do have spirit box once again. How do I turn this one? It's okay. I don't need it actually. It's alright. But yeah, that's pretty much how I can hear things. I promise it's nothing crazy. And also keep in mind that the volume that I have for the game, for like my recordings and my stream, because it's obviously the same software and everything, it's OBS. They are a little lower for you because I like to just be able to have them separated, so I keep them lower so that it's enjoyable no matter what. So that's why you might be struggling sometimes to like hear the things that I mention, and I'm like, oh, I heard the ghost doing this. So we're gonna put one by the door and one over here. I do want to bring a tripod again. We heard the footsteps. We were toom toom, which means that we did hear more than one as well, which means that it was supposed to leave them. So we can tell no UV. We're just gonna wait maybe for the next one, and this is the high roaming. It just goes. But yeah, I am pretty sure this time we heard just one, so this is not the case. We can still just cross out the UV, but generically speaking, this could, like, if it was an obake, this first one, what was that? If it was an obake, this one, because it stepped multiple times, it would still leave at least one. This one, it could be the skipping UV ability, and so it could not leave anything. But you need to hear the sound. If you don't hear a sound, it just means that it didn't take a step after the salt. It doesn't leave UV in that case. That's why it gets tricky. I don't even know what that is. Ooh, okay. We can check just to be sure, but it did do it a second ago. Maybe it evented and I wasn't here for it. I don't know. Do you think that something like this could work? Or you could put it like this so that they work on both sides, kinda. Nope. Right, the thermometer. Rude. Again, this would be like a great way to identify potentially UV. Just the... Okay, you're doing a lot of stuff. This, no, and then you did something over here. You're way more active with the lights off. It didn't write in the book. We can tell directly, immediately, just because of the pen. If we didn't have the arm here, I would just put down I would put down a candle just to, as I said, farm a little bit of interactions just to see some EMF. And then let me think. We checked UV, so we did cross out the mimic for sure. Currently, like, no one is like making me think of anything specific. I will say it did seem more active with the breaker off, but at the same time the mayor would maybe try to turn off the light because the light switch is still considered on, so it's still considered as the ghost being in a lit room, which is why you want with a mayor to have the switch turned on just in case. Because it can hunt earlier. You moved. Oh no. Thought you did, my bad. That's my fault. This honestly just does take a lot. That's, if you can hear it, that's why I'm muted in game. What series that's from? Okay. Where did you start? That wasn't 5 though, I don't think. Okay, I'm just gonna go with Mare and go because I'm getting bored. It's not giving me anything. Like, currently, generically speaking, the 2 pieces of evidence that are easier for me to soft cross out, so I can't cross them out yet. Technically, there's like, you can't cross them out really, are freezing and dots. You can only confirm them if you get them, but otherwise you can only soft cross, be like, probably not. The other 2 that are harder to get in general are tier 1 writing and EMF. So I am prone to say either Mare or Diane. But again, there's really nothing for neither. We could try though to find the cursed possession. I don't believe I found it yet. So we could do that. There's a tier 1 crucifix in the room, so that does stop normal hunts if she's within range, but it doesn't stop a cursed hunt. Am I getting an EMF on that? Too late. Oh my god. It's another arm view. Wait, so why? You know what? Now that I think about it, it's not the first time they do this. It's not the first time that it happened on Saturday as well. I did a live stream for Valentine's Day, right? And we played Phasmo with like my OG gang. And we played a bunch of games, and at some point, I believe it was the twins, we legitimately played a 20 minutes game, and in the 20 minutes, it never gave us freezing. We were playing on Nightmare, so you needed second evidence, especially if you're struggling, and it gave us freezing after 20 minutes, although the ghost was always in the room. And I believe I even said that, because it wasn't hunting, we weren't getting the hunts. Okay, I guess. I did skip it. Wait, let me see. So the challenge mode, the brief. Also, if this is something that a lot of people use a lot, I do think, especially as you're learning, it is nice to check. There's also this kind of statistics and stuff. These are nice to use in general. Because, for example, it spent 10 minutes in the favorite room, and still, it only gave me freezing at the very end. I don't know why. As I said, it's not the first time that it does that. But yeah, it's nice actually to be checking this stuff, because it in my opinion, it helps you sometimes as well. Total sanity lost, especially if you're playing on a difficulty where you don't see your or again a custom where you don't have the sanity screen. This is nice because it gives you a rough idea of how much sanity you were at. If you're playing by yourself, it's easier. If you're playing multiplayer, this is only yours, so you don't really know everyone's and the average sanity when the ghost hunts and stuff. But it is nice, and this as well. So yeah, now that I think about it, it has been happening a bit. Either way, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for the company. I hope this was helpful. And I do know that like sometimes this turned more educational, sometimes they don't. Let me know if you personally happen to have a preference and if there's any video related to Phasmo you would like me to make, any idea, anything that you might have doubts about, even if it's just like a single question that I can just answer in the comments, I would gladly do so. So yeah, thank you for stopping by, thank you for the company. I don't really post a lot of videos on YouTube about the Phasmo, sometimes, right, here and there, really sporadic, aside from the weekly that I do post every Monday, but I do stream every Monday, except today because I'm sick, but I do stream Phasmo every Monday, and on some occasions even other days. This week I will probably play it on Friday since I didn't get to play it today. So yeah, if you happen to stop by again, great. If you don't, I hope still you have an amazing rest of your day, and in general, I hope you have fun playing this game. So yeah, thank you everyone for stopping by. Have a good one. Bye!